basically, we can look at society and say people who get more money and attractive women are the lowest forms of life, with no exception. And I'm talking about getting money and maintaining it. Not like my dad, where he gets money and all of it goes back to society. Okay? All of it goes back in the form of charity and attempts to bring them cures for malaria and cancer and so on and so forth. We can look at this definitively and say that that is basically the case. Okay, first of all, anyone with common sense knows that I'm right. Anyone who studied eugenics and gave it any significant amount of thought knows that I'm right. Scientific racism, first of all, is worse than racism. And that connects to this idea. Where if you're the Nazi party, okay, and you organize a global racist movement, okay, you're worse than one faction of the Klan. How much is their racism expressing itself versus your organized government, scientific, social club, Yale, Harvard, etc. racism, Oxford? There is a calculated and concerted effort to elevate scum over everyone else. Even in their own Bible in Luke, it says, you filled the poor with good things, right? With righteousness. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. They'll be filled, etc. Okay? You filled the poor with righteousness, okay? Those who turn to you, and you sent the rich away empty. So why are the rich the most racist, the most greedy, the most evil? We'll start to help you understand that in this video. By the time I'm done with this video, you won't have every detail that's needed, but you'll have enough to know definitively that I'm right. Okay, first of all, the word corporate can be seen as core pirate. America, for example, every developed nation, is easily identifiable as a pirate ship. Do they exploit other groups of people to a large degree? Yes, pirate. Do they sexually control people and turn women into promiscuous women? Basically, and to a large degree, yes, pirate. Is there such thing as collective guilt? Is it a fair term? Yes. The sum total of the actions of America is a pirate ship. Now, are you me, and you're insisting on moral precision and trying to tell the complete truth, or are you controlled opposition, which is part of the pirate ship's design? That's part of their agenda. That's part of the blueprint. That's the plan. The plan is to have Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Black Lives Matter, Antifa. All these guys are part of the government corporate plan. If you didn't know that, boy, you are stupid. Perhaps in this time we know that more than ever as a society because so many people are in social clubs and corporate movements and corporate sponsored. It is a more well-defined and integrated system. That's why gang members are starting to dress like liberal gays. They're starting to talk differently. That's why we have different music. That's why martial arts is gay. That's why there's trannies in Olympic sports and so on and so forth, because they've integrated their philosophies more than ever, and it's readily identifiable. It's well defined. So first of all, who's the most guilty? The royal family of England and the UK in popular culture. In popular culture, there might be some people behind the scenes pulling strings, but who wears the royal crown jewels? Whose image, right? Image. Whose image seems to be above everyone else's? Who seems to be the wealthiest? Who projects wealth more than anyone else? Do the Rothschilds wear royal crown with priceless jewels? No. The Rothschild basically does not wear priceless jewels. They who wear priceless jewels and are called Your Highness, who give other rich people titles, are basically above the Rothschilds and Bezos and Gates. Okay? You follow me so far? In fact, who gave Israel to the Jews? The people call themselves Jews. It was the English. Look it up. The Balfour Agreement, all this stuff. It was these guys. The Rothschilds were bragging about how they were part and parcel. They were the main force, the determinant in giving Israel to the so-called Jews. So point number 2. The rich corporate guys, the banking guys, when you're making a killing, and you call it making a killing, and your Bible says that you're drunk off the blood of the saints, and it's called blood money, how can you then turn around while you cause, with the other rich people, 9 million people to starve to death around the globe every year? That's 25,000 a day. Show me a gang member that's killed 25,000 people. Their small part on the pirate ship does not compare with the people whose policy directly translate into that. These guys probably wouldn't do it that way. Because a lot of them are colored. They're like, why should I want to kill all these colored people in the world? Why should I want to kill anybody? First thing you learn as a colored person is why not to be a mass murdering, neo-colonialist racist. A lot of people just sell their soul to the devil and ignore that. You see what I'm saying? These are the core pirates. These are the mass murdering, mass starving, they cause people to starve, mass drug pushing, mass exploitation trash. Horrible people whose policies could end the drug trade damn near overnight, damn near completely. Whose policies could end world hunger damn near overnight, damn near completely. How many people went to school with people who said, hey, they want world peace? If they could wish for one thing, it would be end world hunger. It'd it would be world peace. These people could cause it and did not. They chose not to. They control enough social clubs and corporate groups and corporate partners and criminal gangs that sell drugs for their drug cartel butt buddies that the CIA and them sell drugs with, that they could end it overnight. They control the militias, the proxy and puppet governments. They are complete and total scum, and God forbids you to reproduce with them. God forbids you to raise your daughters to try to be like them and to try to date them. Point number 3. The wealthy corporate workers, the more wealthy workers, 500,000 a year plus kind of people, the more wealthy military intelligence guys, the guys who work with the drug dealers and retire in some fancy neighborhood, okay? These guys are also scum. The more blood money you get, the more scum you are. If you're a vampire and you suck 1 million people's blood, you're worse than the vampire who sucked only 2 people's blood, especially if you have a eugenic order where you say, because I'm from this class, I get to suck everyone's blood and benefit more from it. And since you're from this class, you can only suck that many people's blood. So you're worse than they are, and you're in the generational repetition of being a worse demon than they are. Pretty straightforward. You're confused because I use the term vampire because you're a fucking bootlicking coward? Or do you concede my point so far? Ignoble, indecorous, unscrupulous knaves have the nerve to try to say I'm crazy when they are mass murdering trash. And they try to say it through number 4. Okay, the rich criminals and their allies. They say, the poor people who hang around, a lot of them are thugs, they're influenced by rich criminals. Who does that? Why are you doing this? Okay? Why don't you dress like a thug? Why don't you like this? Okay? 5, the richer workers. So we basically know people make $200,000 a year plus. These guys aren't a good catch. These guys are the 5th most guilty group of people on the planet. They are blood money enjoying reveler trash. Just because you program doesn't mean your job is harder than a migrant worker. Just because you trade stocks or you own your own business doesn't mean you worked hard for your money. Those guys work hard and they don't have no 401k. They don't have any retirement plans. They're probably going to get bit by a snake. Probably getting bit by a snake right now. Getting bit by fleas, getting rashes, all kinds of stuff. Okay, dying of heat stroke. You know what I'm saying? How dare you people say you worked hard for your money when every day you drive by people on the road who are working harder than you and get paid much less than you do. So no, your argument that you worked hard for the money, okay, that's what sends you straight to fucking hell. I gotta explain this. Anyway. Where was I? Number 6, the middle class. Okay? The middle class are like, well, I only make about 100,000. I only make 70,000 a year. Why are you financially stable in a world run by what may as well be literal vampires? What may as well be literal vampires. How the fuck are you financially stable? Well, I'm running out of time here, so let me just shoot through this. Okay? I'd love to go on and on about it, but you get the idea. You start to get the pyramid of criminality. The poor people upholding the social norms. If you uphold those social norms, now then we get to some gangsters. So gangster and popular culture in the 90s. He's like, fuck you, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? You entitled motherfuckers. They're running their mouth. Fuck these motherfuckers. Only at number 9 do we get the boys in the hood. Only at number 9 do we get Menace to Society. We get Snoop Dogg before he got rich, and so on and so forth. Why? Because they're not sucking a social norm dick. When these are trickle-down, pedo, blood money, mass murdering, mass drugging, mass exploitation social norms. If you do not know that I'm right, you are one stupid, stupid fuck.